Oh.
Hello, 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 everyone. My name is Triple P, TRIPPLE and I am the astrology pimp, the astrology prophet, and the astrology priest. And today's 7 Series Astrology Prophetics video topic will be Women Do Not Love You How You Think. So before I go into this video, I would like you guys to please go ahead and watch my video titled What is Love? Because I approach love from a more spiritual perspective. And in that video, the definition of love is basically to not see a separation between self and another. So from a spiritual perspective, love is to see yourself and someone as the same. However, in the material world or the natural world, if I may say, love is more of a condition that comes along with stipulations. A person will love you if you do this. If you do not do that, they will not love you. They will fall in love with you one day. They will leave you the next. Because the love that I'm talking about today is a conditional love based on stipulations and based on conditions. Basically, I'm talking about what they consider situationships, and that is how most women, or all women, if I may say, I hate to really say it that way, at first, again, they might, after a period of time, they might come to love you, whatever that may mean for a woman. They may come to become attached to you over a period of time. However, that feeling only will come about over a period of time once a certain conditions are met, circumstances are met, then that woman may feel like she loves you one day and then she does not love you the other day. So again, by no means I want anyone to think that I am a bitter male, that I have some bitterness towards women. I love women so much, man. Hey, I only love women. I don't, you know what I'm saying? So, however, and in fact, I love women. That's the way they are. I don't need them to change. I don't want them to change. I love their nature. I understand their nature. Now, if you're a guy and you do not understand a female nature, then you guys are more susceptible to getting your feelings hurt or being disappointed when you come to understand a female's true nature. And that is what I'm saying. I am telling you that I've come to know and learn and understand and accept. I accept women nature wholeheartedly, 110%, and I am grateful because they are the way they are. And most men, if they come to understand the nature of a woman, they will love women as well. They would love women because now they understand a woman's nature is not permanent. In a sense, her love is based on conditions and stipulations. She might be feeling one way today and she might be feeling another way tomorrow. And that is all good news. And because that is what I teach, I try to teach men the whole, how to have the patience and the understanding, the knowledge and the wisdom, the whole frame to keep in the game as long as possible. Because again, no matter who you are, you're going to eventually break a plate at some point, and break a plate just pretty much means lose a bitch at some point. So again, I don't care who you are. It's best that you go into a relationship understanding the nature of women first and foremost. Again, that is why, again, all of my video subject matters in reference to the dating game is based on satisfying a woman's hypergamy. And because of understanding the way hypergamy works, I understand that, again, a woman only loves you based on that particular moment, the way she's feeling. She feels a particular way one day, she will love you. Tomorrow she feels a different way, she does not love you. The day she cares about you today, tomorrow she does not care about you. The day she likes you, the next day she does not. And I can live with that. I'm cool and I'm down with it. In fact, I'm glad the fuck the way it is because that's more bitches for me. You understand me? And that is what I'm trying to teach you guys, because guys who do not know these things about women, who do not understand the game, when their woman fluctuates their feeling and their woman feelings goes up and down, the guy tends to actually get emotional and get psychologically disturbed, and he starts to, call the bitch when the bitch decides to not talk to him for a few days. He goes out of his mind. He calls the bitch over and over. What are you doing? Are you fucking with somebody else? Who are you with? You know what I'm saying? He displays a lot of low value male qualities, and that is actually not attractive to the female. And so that is why guys like me, guys like other guys in the game will still be in the background, just sitting down, waiting until your woman actually, until you display the fucked up shit. Most players don't actually have to do shit. You don't even have to pursue a bitch. You could just get one foot in the door and actually wait. I guarantee you could sit down and have your life going with it. I'm not actually waiting on the bitch, but go on with your life, and you get a bitch number. She might dislike, she might not even call you today. She might say, hey, look here, man, I have a boyfriend or whatever. I guarantee you in 6 months time, whatever the case may be, that bitch might be calling you back. In a year time, she may be calling you back. That is why you need to be on your purpose, be on your grind. You need to have options. You need to understand that this is not the only bitch in the world. You need to understand that you are the prize, and the list goes on and on. That is the type of game that I spit. Like I say, I spit hurricane, earthquake, lightning and thunder, brimstone and fire. The game that I spit is vicious, you understand me? It's hard to swallow for some Sims tricks and blue pill guys. They don't want to hear the truth, but it's the truth. For you guys who really want to learn the game, who want to get down with the reality, this is the game that I spit, and this is what you're going to learn, how to actually satisfy a woman's hypergamy and understand the nature of a woman, that it is fickle, that she might feel one day for you one day, and then she will feel the other day for you another way. So again, like I said, some guys who do not understand the game, which is most guys, when the woman shows some type of distance, or when the woman actually does not call them or text them, then they kind of basically lose their mind. They kind of get, they kind of get a little fucked up, you know what I'm saying, in the mind. They feel like, oh, maybe she's cheating on me, and there's nothing worse you could do. It's, at first a little jealousy might seem a little harmless at first, to a woman. It might seem like, you might, oh, you care, oh, he cares. It might sound cute at first, oh, he cares, and but at first it sounds innocent, but in the long run, if you continue to be jealous and you continue to show low value status and low value insecurities and competition anxiety, if you continue to show these things, eventually the bitch is going to move on, and she's going to move on to a guy that does not care that much about her, who's going to say, hey, bitch, he's not going to be calling on her, checking on her. Me, I mean, hey, man, I'm a guy, man. Like, I go and watch my video. What do I need from a bitch? What do I need from a woman? You know what I'm saying? You'll see what I'm saying. I don't really need the call. I don't need the talk and so forth. As far as I'm concerned, every time I get a new number from a bitch, I mean, I hate to really say this, every time I get a new number from a bitch, before I got that number, I was happy. Now, when I get the number, I feel like, God damn, now I have another responsibility. Now I got to call this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Now the bitch called me, I got to call the bitch back. There's different things that I saw, and the bitch don't really understand I'm a true player from the Himalayas as well. So again, just getting the bitch number, just from a bitch calling me, I feel some type of anxiety, like I have to be obligated to call the bitch back and all these things. So, you know what I'm saying? So getting the bitch is actually a lot of work. And so therefore, a guy like me, like I said, go ahead and watch what I need from a woman, you know what I'm saying? I need a bitch that I don't need. You know what I'm saying? I want to be in a relationship that I don't want to be in a relationship in. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of weird like that. But anyway, the moral of the story is, most players from the Himalayas, most alpha males that understand exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So back to what I was saying. So again, most guys do not understand the nature of the female, that the female goes solely off her emotions. She operates solely off her feelings. Again, like the moon, the phases of the moon is the way that girl works. One day she's extremely cheerful and happy and jumping for joy. Another day it's going to be a goddamn new moon. And you know what I'm saying, she'll be feeling good. And then after that, it's going to be a full moon. It's going to be, you know what I'm saying, it's going to switch. You have the waning crescent, waning crescent, and waxing gibbous, and all of those different moon phases. Some astrology I should know this, but anyhow, the moral of the story is, that's the way a woman emotion works. So guys who do not understand this, they think that it's a tragedy that a woman are this way. But I'm saying to you guys, this is good news. This is the good news, that because women are fickle and they are not stable, that means you stand the best chance if you understand game, you learn hypergamy, you understand how to satisfy a woman's hypergamy, you stay on your purpose and you stay on that game. This is perfect news, because what I'm trying to tell you is 90% of the guys, let's say 80% of the guys do not notice. 80% of the guys, when the woman shows some type of disinterest, the guy first instinct is to go and run behind the bitch. The guy first instinct is to call the bitch. You know what I'm saying? The guy first instinct is to say, hey, what's up with you? How you doing? How you been? Me? Hey, look here, man. I call a bitch one time. I just might call you back again. That's a maybe. That's a big maybe. I might call you back 2 times, maybe 2, 3 weeks later, maybe a month later. You know what I'm saying? And then I might maybe just maybe a big might if you have already demonstrated some interest or something of that sort. And this is might be in the beginning. I might actually, and this is a big might. I'm not even saying I'm gonna do this, but I'm just gonna give you guys understanding how I go. I call you once time. I'm not gonna double text. You know what I'm saying? If I double text, I may double text again a month later just to check on the investment. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I understand how the game works. I understand that one day she might be involved with somebody, the next day she might not be involved with somebody. But again, I don't even have that type of desire to do any of those things anymore. That's why I'm just teaching you guys what you may have to do. You may have to shoot at a bitch, you know what I'm saying? Send a little smoke signal out. How you doing, baby? She don't respond, whatever the case may be. You might have to, you know what I'm saying, sit that one out and wait for another week or 2 or 3 or 4. Even a month is fine. You know what I'm saying? You can even wait 2, 3, 4, 5 months. You don't give a fuck because, you know what I'm saying? And you could even wait until she, reach back out to you. You don't have to actually do shit. That is why you need to be on your purpose, you need to be on your grind, and you need to have options. And you need to have more than one option. In fact, you need to have bitches on the same caliber as her or even greater than her. And that's what I'm saying. You can't just be pursuing one bitch, because if you're pursuing one bitch, you're going to be fucked up. Because what's happening is you fail to understand that that one bitch actually has at least 20, 30 guys, actually beta male orbiters, who are actually just constantly calling her text. These bitches have options as well. Do not think that they might only be sleeping with one guy at a time. Yes, that may be true. Women tend to just go with one guy at a time. Unlike men can have multiple partners at a time, and there's a reason for that. Biologically, a woman could actually only have one child once a year. Once a year, a woman could deliver a child. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some women could do it 2 times a year, but those women are super women. You know what I'm saying? But most women, 99% of women could deliver one child a year. A man could deliver a billion children in one year. If he have the stamina to fuck a billion bitches, he could impregnate a billion bitches in one year if he has the stamina. So men are naturally biologically made to actually procreate and want more than one woman. So it's not that men are necessarily can't control themselves or desperate or so forth. That is the truth. That is the case. Most men are actually desperate and thirsty, and they can't actually control themselves sexually. However, the main reason the main reason they're doing that is because they by nature their hormones are saying you need to procreate. That is why men build X amount of sperm, millions of sperm each day. A woman only has so much eggs. I'm just making these numbers up. A woman may be born with, I'm just making this number up. I'm not saying it's the fact, it's the truth. A woman may be born with a woman may be born say 100 100 million eggs. I'm just making this up. I know that I don't even think it's that much. But a woman may be born with 100 million eggs. By the time she's like, say, 16, I'm hypothetically speaking, she has 100 million eggs, fertile eggs. And not all of them are going to be fertile, but 100 million eggs. And then by the time she reaches 20, she's going to have, I'm just making these numbers up again. I don't want any guys to get technical here and say, oh, that's not accurate. Again, I'm just giving you guys an illustration. When she gets 20, she's going to be down to 70 million eggs. By the time she reaches 30, she's going to be down to 50 million eggs. By the time she reaches 40, she's going to be down to 2,000 eggs. You know what I'm saying? It's going to go down and down drastically. By the time a woman is 40, 45, a woman is almost next to actually going into menopause. So she has to actually use those eggs really quickly. It's like kind of lose it or lose it, use it or lose it. That is why some women, when they reach a certain point, that's what they call hitting the wall. When a woman actually comes to a certain point and she hits the wall, she's actually devastated that she didn't have any kids, or she didn't get married or whatever, because she knows that her SMV value has lowered. Most men do not understand the game. Men do not understand that a woman SMV value, the most valuable years of a woman's life is in her most youthful years of her life, and the years that she's the most youthful, not when she's the most financially stable. Men do not give a fuck about how much money a bitch has. Women do not understand that men do not give a fuck about how much money you goddamn make. Women give a fuck about how much money men make, but men do not. For example, you could take a rich woman, and a rich woman will actually, a real rich woman, she would never ever take a guy from Burger King for that guy to be her husband. You see what I'm saying? She would never take a guy from, I don't give a fuck how good you fuck. I don't give a fuck if you lay pipe like the goddamn fucking city who lay the pipes in the goddamn street. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what you think you do. That bitch will not actually marry you. You work the Burger King or you have no job. Yes, she will sleep with you. Yes, she might kind of, have you as a little boy toy, a fuck boy or some type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But she would never actually lower SMV value that low to fuck with you. But a man, on the other hand, a man could be a billionaire, a millionaire, and that man will actually find a bitch who works at Starbucks making minimum wage, and that man will take that bitch out of Starbucks and say, bitch, come live with me. If that bitch is young, beautiful, and fertile, doesn't have any kids, doesn't have any drama, doesn't have any fucking, real baggage, that motherfucker will take that woman and put that bitch in a mansion and put that bitch on a pedestal, pick that bitch up, make that bitch have a few kids, you know what I'm saying? And that's what men will do. But women will not do that. Men have a different SMV value for women than women have a different SMV value for men. Women love men based on their perceived SMV value. And for those who, again, who are just coming to the game, SMV just simply means sexual market value. So a woman loves you based on how she sees you to have, how she perceives your SMV value to be. If she sees your SMV value or she perceives your SMV value to be higher than hers, then she stand a chance becoming in love with you or becoming attached to you if you have game, if you play the cards right, if you have all the elements in right and the right place and you satisfy her hypergamy, then she could fall in love with you. And only then she could fall in love with you. But if you do not satisfy her hypergamy and you do not have a higher SMV value than her, then SMV than her, then you actually will not satisfy her hypergamy and she will not love you as well. So what I'm saying is, in English, is that if a woman sees herself as a 5, she needs to see you at least as a goddamn 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. She needs to see you above one. If she does see you as a 5 as well, she needs to know that you're working on something and you're going to be above her in some type of way financially, or you're going to be a big boss or whatever the case may be, getting ready to graduate college to get your scholarship, and you're going to go to get your, be picked up, chosen on by the Lakers or the Bulls or whatever. She know that you have a future coming up in career in football, basketball. She knows that you're going to be a big star. You're going to get a contract for a few $1,000,000 or whatever the case may be. And she knows that you're going to do this. Then she will give you a chance and she would actually look up to you. But if she sees you as a 5 and she's a 5, that's not necessarily going to work. It could work for a period of time. However, it's not going to actually work over a long period of time, because as long as a guy comes along who is a 7, or even a 6 guy comes along who is a 6, you are most likely to get down. She's going to downgrade you and you're going to be fucking left in the dust. And that is what I'm trying to tell you. Women do not necessarily love you the way we love them. Men love women unconditionally. Men look for love. Believe it or not, men look for love. Women look for security. Men think women love them the way they love women. That is why I teach you guys over and over and over and over. You have to learn to see women through the eyes of the way the woman sees you. Women look at men differently than the way men look at women. Women look at men based on qualifications, based on qualities. It does not necessarily mean that if you are not, you don't have to be the most nicest looking guy. You don't have to be the tallest guy. You don't need to be the most richest guy. If you meet some of the requirements, that is good enough, because the woman is going to look at you overall. She's going to look at how, again, your appearance, your style, your attitude, your charisma, your confidence, how kind you are, how loyal you. She's going to look at you overall. She's going to look at you holistically, and she's going to judge and she's going to make a decision based on that. And then she's going to say whether you pass the test or whether she's going to invest time in you, or so forth and so on. However, men do not do that. Men just see a physical body. They see a pretty face and a smile and a cute, nice butt. And then that's all a man usually looks for. And that is what I try to teach you guys. You guys have to get out of that frame of mind, and you need to see women the way they see you. The same way a bitch is qualifying you. And if you do not meet the standards and the qualifications, that bitch will disqualify you. I'm trying to tell you guys, you need to do the same thing. If a bitch does not meet the qualifications and does not meet the standards, you're going to have to diss that bitch as well. And that's what I'm saying. You're going to have to kick that bitch to the curb if she is not coming to the table, making you feel a certain way. She's not respecting you. She's not doing a certain thing that's going to elevate you in the game. She's not supporting you. She's not helping you to become better than you are. Then you need to get rid of that bitch. And if that bitch is just coming to the table with a little bit of looks, a little bit of ass, a little bit of box, then you are actually fucking the game up, because what's going to happen is that woman, you're going to constantly have to pay in one way, shape, or form or another. You're going to have to pay emotionally, psychologically, or financially to keep that woman in your life. That is why I tell guys, again, over and over and over, like you who like you. Go after the woman who actually likes you, because it's not going to be so much of a chase. But the woman who actually does not like you and you like her, you're constantly going to have to actually build value in her eyes, because one day she's always going to feel like she could do better. So that is what I'm saying. Love is based on, from a woman perspective, based on how she perceives you, how your status. If she perceives you to be a man that has social proof. Social proof, basically, she knows that you have status amongst your friends, your peers, people in the community recognize you. Other men, other men rate you and they give you, credit and so forth and status. Other men, other women, your sexual market value. Other you have social proof. Other women actually find you to be attractive. Other women want to fuck with you. Women like that shit. Women don't want a man who no woman want. Believe it or not, your bitch, the more qualified you are, one of the reasons she actually like you is because she know that she could get other bitches jealous. Women like to get other women jealous. Have you ever seen women see other women who actually look more sexy than them and women who are more pretty than them? These women actually will goddamn become so jealous if they see another girl sexy or prettier than them. Man, like, yeah, I don't care who the fuck you are. You could go in a room, and you could see a bitch. You could see a bitch right now and say, a bitch who might be like, I'm just making this number up. A bitch might be, I'm just saying, early 50s, early 40s. I'm not picking on any bitch. I'm just spitting game and spitting fire. Early 50s, early 40s, or maybe even late 30s. That bitch walks in the room and she might be the prize. She might be the eye candy. Every man kind of looks at her. Every man is like glass gawking at her. And, she might have a nice little frame. She might have a nice little smile. You know what I'm saying? Nice little teeth, nice eyes. And every man is just dribbling over. She'll feel so goddamn elevated. And, you know what I'm saying? And guess what? Let's say a 20-year-old, a 21-year-old, another little small, little young, petite something that comes on the scene that has zero cellulite, a bitch that actually has zero, doesn't have any roles on the side, doesn't have any children, doesn't have any goddamn anything, and that bitch comes on the scene. You will see a difference in that woman who was the prize in the beginning. You will see a difference in that woman who was the 45, the 50-year-old woman, or the 60-year-old woman, whatever the case may be, even 30-something-year-old. You will see a difference in her attitude, because now the younger girl is going to be the one that's going to come and take the spotlight off her, and that woman is actually going to start to feel some type of way, some type of insecurity. So men, again, women do not understand. Men desire youth, men desire beauty, men desire body, men desire sex. That is, yeah, like I was saying. So like I was trying to say to you guys, if you guys understand the way hypergamy works, you'll understand that a woman actually only loves you based on the way she feels, the way you make her feel at the moment. She don't necessarily love you, like I say, like your mom loves you. Your mom loves you unconditionally. She might love you, based on the status she believes that she perceives you to have. She thinks that you have a particular status, SMV value. You know what I'm saying? She believes that you have a certain, credibility with your peers. People, they rate you and your friends look up to you and so forth. She like those things about you, but does she like you or love you the way that you love her? No, she does not. Women actually love you the opposite. They feel a certain way about you one day, then they feel a certain way about you the other day. So that is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand, that you guys need to actually start to fall in love with these women. Sorry, the guys that who are falling in love with these women, you need to understand that the woman does not love you the same way. The woman loves you based on stipulation. The woman loves you based on how you make her feel at the moment. And if you make her feel a certain way one day and you are not able to make her to feel that way another day, she is most likely to actually move on or leave you or discard you, or actually start to look elsewhere for someone who could actually make her feel the way she wants to feel. If you think about it from that perspective, the same way a woman might love you based on the conditions that you have actually put before the conditions were correct. If the conditions were correct, then she fell in love with you. Think about it. Then actually the conditions, if the conditions are incorrect, then she most likely is going to actually fall out of love with you as well. So that is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. Do not believe that a female loves you the way you love her. Most men, again, men love women from a physical perspective. They love women based on what they see. A woman, how a woman looks, a woman age, and where a woman carries herself as far as the youth and beauty and so forth. That is what men look for. Men think about sex, procreation. That's what men want. Men want to actually have women in their lives that they actually could sleep with and have children with and things of that sort. Men want something different. Women want men that actually have something more tangible. Men have to bring stability, survival things to the table, to where the woman could feel safe to bring offsprings in the world. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with this at all. That is why I'm trying to tell you guys, the good news about the game is that you do not need to have anything. You do not sorry, not anything. You do not need to have everything. That is what I'm being trying to tell you guys. You guys could get a particular type of girl if you have just a certain amount of qualities and you have your foot in the door. Then you actually can get a particular girl, but however, you do not actually have to have everything. You do not have to have the 15, 15, 15. You don't need to be 15 foot tall. You don't need to have $15 trillion in the bank. And you don't need to have 15 inches of wood. You just need to have some attributes. And with game and with understanding how hypergamy works, then you stand a chance. And that is what I'm trying to tell you guys. However, what most guys fail to do is most guys tend to believe that a woman might be demonstrating a particular way, a certain feelings for you. One day she might be submissive, she might be actually feminine and doing all these things for you. She might be cooking for you, cleaning for you, whatever the case may be. One day, however, the next day she pretty much that's kind of pretty much wants nothing to do with you. And that is what I'm saying, that the women actually are going off their emotions. They are operating the way they feel. They do not necessarily, they're not operating from a place of stability. It is not fixed. It's not firm. That is why I'm saying to you guys, if you love the game and you understand the game, you should actually appreciate the game and actually love women for this, because now you have to understand that there's only a certain amount of men that actually meet the requirements that actually is going to satisfy a woman's hypergamy. Like I said before, it is like 20% of the men get 80% of the women. 80% of the women only want 20% of the men. And the reason 20% of the men only get 80%, 20% of the men get 80% of the women is because these guys meet the requirements to satisfy a woman's hypergamy. And the other 80% of the men are pretty much just beta males, beta orbiters, and beta male providers. And these guys actually believe that if they pull upon a woman and they actually have the finances right, they believe that if they, have the money right, and provide and all these things, that they believe that the female will actually be satisfied. But that is not the case. Women are satisfied based on an emotional way, emotional feeling. They have the feel that there is some type of discrepancy, a SMV value discrepancy between you and that lady. If you are a 5 and that woman is a 6, she might, that is a big might. She might go back and she might go down one level and actually, fuck with you. Only reason she might is because if she thinks that you have the potential to supersede her at some point, that you're gonna go from a 5 to a 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. If she feels that you're gonna actually someday you're gonna get a contract to be a NFL player or a football player or a basketball player, she see potential in you in a movie career or something of that sort. Or you're getting your master's degree, a PhD, or you're gonna become a doctor, a lawyer, or something of that sort over a period of time. Then that woman would actually lower her standards to some degree. But she's not going to go too far on the totem pole. She's not going to go down from a 5 to a 3 or something of the sort. Women date up versus women rate down. So that's why I'm trying to tell you guys, the love that women display is because of a perceived value that they have of you. They feel that you demonstrate a particular value level, you are at a particular level. The woman who feels that you are, say, a 8, if she sees herself as a 6, then she most likely will be submissive and she most likely will be feminine around you because you have displayed the certain characteristics that have actually satisfied her hypergamy. But however, if you are, say, let's say you are 7 and she's a 10, you could actually, the good thing about it is you could actually build game. You could have game and you could actually build your status up, you could build your body up, you could build your looks up, you could build your character up, you could become more charismatic and move yourself from a 7 to a 10, or you could move yourself from a 5 to 8 or 9, and then you still would be able to get a majority of the girls, because most men are not actually overall 10s, and that's what I'm saying, or more overall 8s. Women see men from a holistic perspective. They don't just look at the man and see the man and say, oh, he's sexy, so that is going to be all that she cares about. No, she's going to look at you physically, emotionally, psychologically, financially, and all of these other things as well. Then she's going to actually make a decision and say, okay, yes, I'm going to actually fuck with this guy. But that is not what men do. Men tend to see women and they look at women and say, okay, yeah, she's pretty, she has a nice smile, she has a nice body, she has a nice ass, you know what I'm saying? She has pretty eyes and so forth and so forth. She's young, she's fertile, or whatever the case may be. And then that woman is going to be then that man is gonna feel like he loves that woman. But however, that is not the case for men. For women, you need to have more than one thing to satisfy a woman's hypergamy. That is why I'm trying to tell you guys, and most dating coaches would always tell you, build yourself, build your purpose, and follow your purpose, and all these things. And after that, women will be somewhat of a side effect, somewhat of something that comes along with the game from actually building yourself and doing all of these things. Then you automatically will get women as well as somewhat as a residue, something that come along with the game. But however, you should not go and try to pursue women, as far as I'm saying. You should not try to even make women fall in love with you, for that matter of fact, because the love is something is that's going to happen, whatever that may be. Again, whatever women call love, they actually, that happens over a period of time, after a particular attachment is built, after a particular value that the woman sees in you has been established, and then that woman may actually feel a certain way, and she naturally becomes submissive, and she naturally becomes feminine. That is why I tell you guys over and over, understand the game, how the game works. And again, if you look at what women say they want versus what women actually do, you will see that something is not right. They will tell you that, hey man, I love this guy. I would love a guy who's kind and loving and caring and all of that stuff, and sensitive, and listens to me and all that and so forth. That is what they say they want. But look at the guy that they actually love. The women love the guy that actually does not really care that much. The guy who treats them a certain way, actually usually very negative. The guy who ignores them. The guy who actually doesn't put that much interest in the game. They call it IOI, indication of interest. That guy is a woman. It's the woman who does not actually like the guy who actually likes them. And that is what I'm trying to say to you guys. Most of you guys do not understand the way the game works. For example, I know one of my friends. I have a friend of mine. Even me, I'm telling you guys all of this game, and be high value men, and be above women in certain areas. In fact, be above women overall. Be the prize if you become the prize, because women don't want anyone who is less than the prize. Again, that is why women date up. Women might not want to admit this, but again, women date or love men that they see as a prize, that they see men who is a catch, a man that they feel that they have to put in some effort and some work into. That is the man that they actually love. They do not necessarily love the man who loves them back. That is why, again, men do not understand. You have to see a woman from the eyes of the way a woman sees you. And when you develop the eyes that the women look through, the lens that women look through, then you would actually be able to actually put stipulations on the female, and actually say, hey, baby, if you don't meet these requirements or whatever the case may be, then you do not pass the test. The same way women do that to men, men actually need to do that to women as well. So again, back to what I was saying, women do not actually love men the way that men love them. Your mom might love you, your mother might love you unconditionally, but women actually love men from a more of a conditional perspective, more of a situationship. That is the way women tend to love men. And if you do not meet the requirements over a period of time, it will just be a matter of time before you are discarded. But if you continue to watch these videos as time goes on, I'm going to continue to build more and more and more and more on these subject matters in reference to how to actually attract, and not only attract, but actually maintain and sustain our relationships. That is why I always say over and over and over, so far, like the girl who likes you. Because if you follow the girl who likes you, or you run behind a girl who likes you, then you stand a chance of actually being disappointed and disregarded. Looking back on my life, I can look back and I would say that every single girl that I've actually liked, that I've actually wanted to be with, that I wanted to spend time with, that I actually was too touchy-feely and kissy and emotional type of thing, every girl I've actually lost. I have not lost many, I've lost a few, you know what I'm saying, but I was more successful that I've actually lost. But the moral of the story is, the girls that I wanted, I lost, and the ones that I did not care about, I actually had to beat them off me with a stick. So with that being said, again, I'm going to continue to build these or create these videos based around the understanding of what hypergamy is and how to satisfy a female's hypergamy. Because only then, if you understand what I'm saying to you, women do not necessarily love you for who you are per se, and the same way you love them for who they are. Well, the sooner the better that men understand the way women love, the better for you. And again, this is good news. I am happy about it. I am not mad about it. I don't give a fuck how bitches love men. All I know is I understand how they love, or whatever is perceived to be love. I should say how they perceive love, I should say. And I understand that it's not permanent, it's not fixed, It is something that is an ongoing up and down fluctuation thing. And I love the fact that's the way it is, because once man understands this, you will understand that you might see a girl and you might say, wow, this girl is in love with this guy and she loves him so much, and you might feel like you don't stand a chance. But that is actually good news for you, because in most cases that love is not going to last much for too much longer, because what is going to happen is, in most cases, when the woman does actually come to a place to where she loves a man and she becomes submissive and she shows submission, and she is feminine around the guy, in most cases, if the man is not a true alpha masculine male, the man is going to put his guard down and he's going to start to become feminine, and the roles are going to change, and the woman is going to no longer be able to continue to be feminine, because she needs to be in a relationship with a masculine male in order for her to be feeling safe and to put her guard down and to trust and to love wholeheartedly. However, again, most men, when the woman falls back in love with them, they tend to reciprocate the same feelings that the woman shows them. And when the woman actually starts to become attached to the man, and the woman starts to be touchy-feely and wants to hug the man and hold the man and kiss the man, in most cases, who does not have game, who does not understand, he tends to want to be the same way as the woman. He now becomes a lot more touchy-feely anymore. I'm not saying to not touch a girl. I'm not saying to not kiss a girl. I'm not saying to not be emotional, not to be intimate with your girl. I'm saying to you is, you cannot demonstrate the same level of that intimacy with your girl. You want your girl, it's best when your girl always wants to touch you more than you want to touch her. It's best when she wants to see you more than you want to see her. Go and watch my video again. What do I want from women? Go and check that video. That video is a much more detailed video in reference to how to build the attachment, how to get a woman actually SMV to rise for you to further see you in a much valuable light. Go and check that video out. So again, women do not see men the same way. So over a period of time, what guys fail to realize is that, yes, you might see a girl in a relationship with a guy. I'm not saying that you guys should go and pursue women have boyfriends or husbands, because that could be detrimental to you. Do not do that. I'm not advocating that at all. I'm just saying that there are some women that you see today that they may have a man in their life, that is not the end all be all, because that relationship most likely will not last forever. Almost everything comes to an end, because again, what is going to happen is, when a man finally gets the woman to the place to where the woman supposed to be, where she feels like a woman and she could actually express herself and she could be more feminine and she could, be more masculine in the sense by wanting to tell you, I want to see you and this and that. Most guys are going to start to become soft like mashed potato. You know what I'm saying? Most guys are going to actually start to become weak in the knees, and most guys are going to actually reverse the roles, and they're going to go from being masculine and they're going to go from being feminine. And then what's going to happen is that the female is actually going to lose interest in the man over a period of time. So this is good news, because what I'm trying to tell you is, with this understanding, is it is almost all women are actually susceptible to actually leave a man at some point, unless that man maintains his masculine frame, his seductive frame. He's pursuing his purpose, he's pursuing his goals, and the woman is not the number one priority on the list, because actually the woman does not want to be the priority on the list, because as soon as you actually fall in love with the woman and you put the woman on the priority of the list, in most cases she will lose some interest for you. She might not say it in the beginning, it might be sweet and it might be like this and all that, but as soon as you commit to the woman, then the challenge is gone, and then no, she no longer feels that she needs to actually chase you anymore, and so therefore her hypergamy is not satisfied anymore as well. So that is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. Hypergamy is a very sensitive situation, is because it's based on feelings, and so therefore how the woman feels one day to day, she may no longer feel that way tomorrow. So if you understand this, I want you guys to actually, you should be jumping for joy with this information, because you understand that, because the woman feelings is always fluctuating, one day to feeling this way, the next day feeling this way. You just have to be the right place at the right time. Maybe you pull up on a girl and you actually try to get a number, or you wanted to talk to her or whatever. You just pull up her on the bad time. Maybe you gave her a number and she never called, and so therefore you feel like maybe all else is lost. She might not call you today, she might call you 6 months from here, she might call you a year from there. Who knows? And that is why you need to be in your purpose. That is why you need to be on your grind. And that is why I'm not saying you should wait on the bitch. I'm saying you need to have other options. You need to be occupied. And so you need to have time on your side. You need to be patient. And if you want to just play the long game, this is a long game thing. This is not just a slam bam, thank you, mom type thing. You need to have patience. That's why I say you need to have options. You can't come in the game and just think you're gonna just go for one girl and then that's gonna be a wrap. Because if you're gonna go for one girl, you're most likely gonna be disappointed and discarded as well. Because like they say in the game, three holes is too close to two, and two is too close to one, and one is too close to none. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, you guys need to fully understand hypergamy is on your side. The way women love you is on your side because again, all the women that you see that are in relationships, it would just most likely be a matter of time that these relationships will dissolve. I guarantee you, most of the relationships that women first started out in their early teens, early 20s, 30s, that they thought that they love a man and they're going to be with this man forever. And when you look at them 5 years, 6 years from here, they've had multiple relationships, they've had multiple men that have come and gone, and they thought they could have put their life on the line that this man is going to be the man that I'm going to marry and have kids with and die with, because at that time that is how they felt, and at the time they felt that way, so they believed that because that is how they feel, because she goes off her emotions. She feels one way today and that feeling is going to dictate to her what is going on. So one day she feels like she loves you and the next day she feels like she does not, and the day that she feels that she does not, it is over. It is done. There's nothing that you could do about it. Don't go back and try to bring the bitch back. Don't try to get the bitch back. Let the bitch fucking skip. You understand what I'm saying? The bitch try to break out of jail. Let the bitch get a bitch a get out of jail fucking pass. Get another bitch. Move on. Do what the fuck you gotta do. Don't get too emotionally. I know you might get a little sad about it, whatever the case may be. And some guys are gonna be overly attached and so forth. And players from the Himalayas, most guys are only sad because they are disappointed or sad because what the bitch brought to the table. Now they're losing what the bitch brought to the table, but it's not so much as losing the bitch that they're really disappointed about because they know they could always get another bitch. You know what I'm saying? But that's a different level of game, but I'm talking about this now. But the moral of the story is, do not believe that a woman, when she tells you that she loves you, that that is permanent. Be grateful that she is there in your life at the particular time. That's why they say it is not, the bitch is not yours, it's just your turn. So with that being said, for those of you who have stuck around as long, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Again, thank you so much. Please continue to like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And if you all, please stop believing in delusions and hallucinations. Triple P, and I'm out.
Oh.